Who's in heaven?
All right. Okay. So pardon for the late broadcast of this show, but most of all, welcome to another show this morning here in the Philippines, and also if you're in United States of America, good evening to all of you. And I hope my microphone is clear, and my I hope my voice is very clear as well. So welcome to our new topic for this afternoon. And if you're in the Philippines, we will this and in the Philippines this morning. So now we're going to talk about a brand new topic called how the Judaism influenced Islam. All right, or how Judaism shaped the Islam. Okay, all right. So without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my own screen. Okay, so this is our topic for today. It's all about Judaism's influence on Islam by brothers. What do Muslims know? Called to serve, Boutros and yours truly. All right. Now, many of you are familiar with the Quran. All right. So Muslims love to claim that Islam is an original religion. Original meaning it's very unique, it's one of a kind, and it's never a copy of any other religion. Yet, according to Muhammad, Islam started as a strange religion, according to Sahih Muslim Hadith numbers 145 and 146. And according to Muslims, Muhammad made a miracle in Islam, and that is the Quran. And Muhammad supposedly received revelations from Allah and written in the Quran. All right. Now, this hadith is from the Sahih Muslim. Sahih Muslim is the second most authentic hadith in Islam. So this is something about Islam started as something strange and will go back to being something strange. According to Sahih Muslim, hadith number 145, it was narrated that Abu Huraira said, the Messenger of Allah said, Islam began as something strange and will revert to being something strange. So glad tidings to the strangers. Notice Muhammad said, began something strange and will revert to being something strange. Right? Sahih Muslim, hadith number 146. It was narrated from Ibn Umar that the Prophet said, Islam began as something strange and it will revert to being something strange as it began. And it will retreat between two masjid as a snake retreats to its hole. Like, like what? Yes, Islam really is very very strange, but we may not understand very very much what made Muhammad say that, and also he pictures Islam like a snake retreats to its hole. Yet we all know as Christians that the snake represents the serpent, represented the deceiver, represented evil. All right. Okay. And also, some Christians do not know about the origin of the Quran, and here is the hadith number 3 from Sahih Al Bukhari, Volume 1. I've taken this from the Jerusalem edition. Okay, the Jerusalem edition is actually a very much more reliable translation. Okay, so this is the origin of the Quran, where it began. So, Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 1, Hadith number 3, narrated Aisha, the mother of the faithful believers. The commencement of the divine revelation to Allah's messenger was in the form of good righteous, or true dreams, which came true like bright daylight. And then the love of seclusion was bestowed upon him. He used to go in seclusion in the cave of Hira, where he used to worship Allah alone, continuously for many nights before returning to, or his desire to see, his family. He used to take with him the journey food for the stay, and then come back to his wife Khadija to take his food likewise again, till suddenly the truth descended upon him. While he was in the cave of Hira, the angel came to him and asked him to read. The prophet replied, I don't know how to read. That's why the famous Arabic term the famous Arabic term is used here, known as ikra. Okay? Ikra. Then, or read. The prophet said, I don't know how to read. The prophet added, then the angel caught me forcefully and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it anymore. He then released me and again asked me to read, and I replied, I do not know how to read. Thereupon, he caught me again and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it anymore. He then released me and again asked me to read, but again I replied, I do not know how to read, or what shall I read? Thereupon, he caught me for the third time and pressed me. And then released me and said, read in the name of your Lord, who has created all that exists, has created man from a clot, a piece of thick coagulated blood. Read, and your Lord is the most generous. All right. So according to this hadith, according to the beginnings of Islam, it started in Cave Hira, and it appears here in this hadith that Muhammad was absolutely terrified because of this supposed angel who actually strangled him 3 times. Isn't it very strange? Isn't it very strange that that an angel of God would would be so forceful on Muhammad? No wonder it is very, very strange. Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay. Okay, then Allah's messenger returned with the revelation and with his heart beating severely. That's another way of saying that Muhammad felt terrified. Then he went to Khadija bint Khuwaylid and said, Cover me, cover me. They covered him till his fear was over, and after that he told Khadija everything that had happened and said, I fear that something may happen to me. Khadija replied, Never. By Allah, Allah will never disgrace you. You keep good relations with your kin, help the poor and the destitute, serve your guests generously, and assist the deserving calamity afflicted ones. Muhammad did say a lot in those hadiths that Islam started really strange. So why was Muhammad terrified? It says here his heart beating severely, meaning to say he was absolutely terrified. And yet his wife Khadija says Never, never by Allah, no, Allah will never disgrace you. That's her way of saying, no, no, that's not the devil. It must be an angel talking to you. But for me personally speaking, I think Khadija was I think Khadija here was a bit of an idiot. I remember this video about a real angel of God. Uh, how can we tell the an angel is a real angel from God? Is if an angel instead of being afraid, we instead of making us very afraid, instead the angel is supposed to be bringing the good news. An angel is supposed to be bringing peace in our soul or within ourselves. But here, Muhammad was absolutely terrified. So clearly, this is not the kind of angel we are expecting. We are expecting from the story of Muhammad. Why was he strangled 3 times? That's not something an angel can do, right? But a demon instead. Now, let's move forward to Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 1, Hadith number 4. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari while talking about the period of pause in Revelation. Reported the speech of the Prophet. While I was walking, all of a sudden I heard a voice from the sky. I looked up and saw the same angel who had visited me, the cave of Hira, sitting on a chair between the sky and the earth. I got scared of him and come back home and said, "Wrap me in blankets." And then Allah revealed the following holy verses of the Quran. O you, Muhammad, enveloped in garments, arise and warn, etc., up to, etc., and keep away from our ruj, the idols. Again, this is a very strange hadith. Why would if Muhammad is supposedly talking to Allah, why did he see the same angel who Muhammad who's Muhammad said who had visited him in the cave of Hira? Yet this is also the same angel who strangled him 3 times in the cave of Hira. Isn't that the and for Muslims out there, isn't it for Muslims out there who are the very open mind, right? Isn't it very strange for you that Muhammad saw an angel who visited him at the cave of Hira? Is the same angel who strangled him?
Yeah, but
And
yeah,
yeah,
the question is, when the first sentence that came to Muhammad, it started with read in the name of your creator. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. I don't see anywhere prior to this sentence where the speaker said, I am an angel sent by Allah with a message to you, Muhammad. And the message reads, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Where do the Muslims, or how could the Muslims believe Muhammad telling them it was an angel when Muhammad himself did not know? According to Muhammad, he saw a demon. So where the identification of the angel, forget the name at this point, where the identification of an angel that spoke to Muhammad from the very beginning?
well, if we read this hadith, Muhammad never actually mentioned the actual name of this, actually the name of this the demon, but it appears to me that it was Khadija who absolutely convinced Muhammad. No, I don't think that's a demon. That's something it's an angel, you know. But like I said, Khadija is a bit idiot here. Khadija couldn't tell the difference between an angel or a demon, because if it is really an angel from God, that's something an angel would never do. Something an angel would never harm a human. Like in the Bible, for example, I think you're familiar with the story of Zechariah about the father of John the Baptist, right?
Yes.
Where angel Gabriel said, "Oh, the we have oh, God has finally heard your prayer. You're going to have a son." Right? And what did Angel Gabriel? How did Angel Gabriel introduce himself first to Zechariah, John the Baptist's father? He said, "Oh, do not be peace be unto you. Do not be afraid, for God has heard your prayer, and you're going to have a son." Okay. Same with our Blessed Mother Mary, where the Angel Gabriel says, "Oh, peace be unto you. Do not be afraid. The Lord is with you." And yet, and yet, this same angel, the Angel Gabriel, did not hurt our Blessed Virgin Mary. But here, but here, this kind of angel hurts Muhammad. He even strangled him several times. That's why, like I said, Khadija, who was the first wife of Muhammad, she was kind of an idiot. She she couldn't even really tell an angel coming from God, or an angel, this a disguised angel. All right, a disguised angel could be a demon disguising as an angel. All right. Okay. All right. So, any other questions, brother? What do Muslims know?
Go ahead.
Okay. I guess that's very, very clear. Let's move forward. All right. So, Encyclopedia Judaica actually admits that Medina was inhabited by the Jews until they were expelled by Muhammad. Right. According to Encyclopedia Judaica, this is the article Medina, a city in fertile valley of the Hijaz in northern Arabia. Along with Taima and Khaybar, Medina was a leading Jewish community in ancient Arabia. Prior to the expulsion of most of Medina Jewry by Muhammad in 620s, the oasis was largely inhabited by Jews. According to legend, the Jewish community dates from Moses' war against Amalekites, the Babylonian exile, the 586 BCE, Antiochus IV's persecutions, and the defeat by Rome in 70 CE. In case, but by the early centuries of the Christian era, the population of Medina consisted mostly of Jewish tribes, according to some Arabs, up to 20 tribes, either of Judean, Palestinian, mixed Judeo-Arabic, or Arab proselyte origin. Remains of their life survive, including castles, courtyards, and wells, the first of which were dug by the Nadir tribe, who inhabited the best lands and cultivated date palms west of the city. The two other major tribes were the Qurayza, who occupied an area in the southern part of the town, and the Kainuga, who were among the earliest settlers and resided in the central market. Other tribes included the Talaba, northeast of the city, and Biani, a tribe of Arab proselytes who lived in the Kuba area, the south of Medina. Okay, now here's the part that gets interesting. Okay, so there was a known history, according to Encyclopedia Judaica, that Muhammad used to be very friendly at first, but then Muhammad grew more hateful to the Jews. Okay, here it is. Hence, Muhammad's message found a receptive audience among many Arabs and a few Jews. Most Jews, however, scorn Muhammad, deriding his prophetic pretensions and adaptations of biblical material. Concerned about the effect of such vehement opposition, Muhammad began to expel the Jewish tribes with whom he had formerly signed an agreement. The Kainuga and the Nadir were expelled from Medina in 624 and 626 respectively. The Qurayza men were annihilated in 627, and the women and children were sold into slavery. The Jewish tribes apparently did not assist one another or unite against the common enemy, each meeting its fate as an individual tribe. The small Jewish population which remained in Medina was powerless and could not cause Muhammad much trouble. The community eventually dwindled and died out. Okay, so now we understood why Muhammad supposedly received revelations from Allah, quote unquote, received revelations about fighting the Jews. Do not take the Jews as your allies. Why? Because Jews did not because the Jews did not receive Muhammad. So that's their way of saying, oh, what a phony prophet this guy is. He this guy Muhammad, he's a phony prophet. He is trying to make a mockery out of our the scriptures about prophets. And of course, in the Bible, we know who our prophets are: Isaiah, Jeremiah, Hosea, Ezekiel, and many other great prophets of the Old Testament. However, here Muhammad, however here now we understand the real reason why Muhammad expelled the Jews from from Medina. Why? Because the Jews did not accept him as a prophet. All right, but nowadays I don't know what kind of treatment these days how the Jews look at Muhammad today. But but still, until now, if you're going to ask the Jews if it is really written about Muhammad regarding Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18, most Jews did not agree that. Okay, so as a result of rejection, Muhammad supposedly received revelations from Allah. Here is Surah 551. O who you believe, take not the Jews and the Christians as awliya, meaning friends, protectors, and helpers. They are but awliya of each other, meaning friends and allies of each other. And if any amongst you takes them as awliya, then surely he is one of them. Verily, Allah guides not those people who are the zalimun, that is, polities and wrongdoers and unjust. So the real reason why Muhammad came up with that verse because of his rejection by the Jews and Christians, basically from the Jews. But later we will understand. We will later understand why Muhammad was rejected. Surah 9, Surah At-Tawbah, verse 29. It says, fight against those who believe not in Allah, nor in the last day, nor forbid that which has been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, and those who acknowledge not the religion of truth, i.e., Islam, among the people of the scripture, Jews and Christians, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Again, Muhammad came up with that revelation, a supposed revelation from Allah, to fight against Jews and Christians. Why? Because Jews and Christians did not believe in him. Like I said, he was a phony prophet. Because Jews and Christians did not, should I say, Jews and Christians refused to acknowledge the religion of Islam. All right, but nowadays I don't know how Muslim apologists ever tried to convince some Christians to convert to Islam. All right. Maybe some Christians do not know about this verse. Maybe some Christians do not know about this hadith. Okay. Jizya. So for those of you who may ask, oh, what is a jizya? Well, actually, jizya is a form of a tax. So as a Jew or Christian, okay, I'll pay you the jizya tax. Just leave me alone, okay? Spare me from your trouble. Okay. In other words, jizya is a form of humiliation tax. All right. Okay. It's like this. Like, all right. I will recognize your Islam. Here's the money. Just leave me alone. Okay. Leave me alone. Don't make me part of your trouble. All right. That's how that's how jizya tax works. Okay, Surah 9:31. Because of Muhammad's rejection. Okay, they the, the Jews and Christians took their rabbis and their monks to be their lords, besides Allah, by obeying them in things which they made lawful or unlawful according to their own desires, without being ordered by Allah. And they also took as their Lord the Messiah, son of Maryam, while they, Jews and Christians, were commanded in the Torah and the Injil, the Gospel, to worship none but one Ilah. La ilaha ilahua, none has the right to be worshipped but He. Praise and glory be to Him. Far above is He from having the partners they associate with Him. Well, well, again, Muhammad came up with this verse. Why? Simply because he was rejected. That's what he thought. But the real reason is because he was rejected. All right. Actually, this verse is also problematic as well, because this Surah chapter 9 verse 31 also commands Muslims to worship Jesus as well. They took their monks and their rabbis to be their lords instead of Allah and the Messiah. All right, that's the real translation. All right. So, any other questions, brother?
Boy, you're doing good. You're doing good. So far, so good. And
Thank
Trinity
you.
Networks, God bless you. God bless you guys all. And shalom to you as well. You're doing good, man.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay,
I just
let's
hope
move forward.
we can pass this around and have more people at least listening.
Mhm. Thank you very, very much, brother. So now the Jews rejected Muhammad's message. As admitted from the encyclopedia, the Jews scorned Muhammad for being a pretentious prophet and copied biblical references. However, there are also Jewish references which Muhammad heard, copied, and stole words from the Jews and their rabbis when Muhammad was friendly at the time with the Jews. And this is why we need to understand why the Jews scorned Muhammad as the pretentious prophet. Yeah, yes, Muhammad was indeed a phony prophet, but also Muhammad loves stealing and copying stories or legends from the Jews. Okay, so what are they? I'm going to give the references. And since my field of study is all about Judaism, now this is the part where I'm going to teach you guys as well. Here we go. One of the Jewish sources which Muhammad actually copied is from Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer. Okay, according to the website called Sepharia.org, right? Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer was composed in Talmudic Israel or Babylon around 630 to the 1030 CE or after Christ. Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer, also known as Chapters of Rabbi Eliezer in English, is a midrash that retells and expands upon the stories of the Torah, from the creation of the world through the story of Miriam's leprosy. It incorporates discussion on topics like redemption, Messiah, and calculating the end of days. Traditionally considered to have been authored by Rabbi Eliezer Ben Hyrcanus in the time or period of the Mishnah, the first and second century CE. The work is likely edited in 8th or 9th century. Now, this is the historical introduction to Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer. Later on, we will discover what legends or fables Muhammad copied from this source. This is supposedly the work of Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. Okay? However, according to the Encyclopedia of Jewish Knowledge, Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, according to Zuntz, the imperfect fragments of a large Haggadic Midrash. Well, Midrash is all about fables or legends, written by Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, probably composed in Palestine, but completed in Italy around the 833 CE. It expands by fable the story of creation and the book of Genesis, the story of Moses, and the life of Phineas. However, according to some scholars, it is a recomposition of myths and mystical interpretations to which the author added his observations on current customs. So there you have it. I actually spoke to one of the rabbis here, and they actually admitted that Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer. Some rabbis say it is a form of exegesis, okay, quote unquote exegesis, meaning the deeper understanding of the scriptures of the Torah. But surprisingly, they admitted that Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer is actually a fable, right? A fable or legend, right? Meaning it's really a work of fiction. Unfortunately, many Jews still believe in this supposed exegesis that is actually a fable. Very very sad. All right. So we need to understand, brother. What do Muslims know? We need to pray for the Jewish people to have their eyes open. How I really wish that many of them are starting to open their eyes from what we have here right now, because according to the Encyclopedia of Jewish Knowledge, it actually admits that this source Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer is really a legend or a fable. Very very sad. Yet we need to pray for them as well. Next is the Mishnah. The Mishnah may be defined as a deposit of 4 centuries of Jewish religious and cultural activity in Palestine, beginning at some uncertain date, possibly during the earlier half of the 2nd century BC, and ending with the close of the 2nd century AD. The object of this activity was the preservation, cultivation, and application to life of the law, the Torah, in the form in which many generations of like-minded Jewish religious leaders had learned to understand this law. These leaders were known in turn by the names Soferim, or the Soferim, the scribes, and Tanaim, literally repeaters, the teachers of the oral law. The latter taught the religious system of the Pharisees as opposed to that of the Sadducees. Until the destruction of the Second Temple in AD 70, they had counted as one only among the schools of thought which played a part in Jewish national and religious life. After the destruction, they took the position naturally and almost immediately of sole and undisputed leaders of such Jewish life as survived. Judaism, as it has continued since, is, if not their religion, at least a faith and a religious institution, largely of their fashioning, and the Mishnah is the authoritative record of their labor. Thus, it comes about that while Judaism and Christianity alike venerate the Old Testament as canonical scripture, the Mishnah marks the passage to Judaism as definitely as the New Testament marks the passage to Christianity. So, in other words, the Mishnah, uh, So in other words, Mishnah, we do not know the true origin of the Mishnah comes from, but we do know but we do now know that that Mishnah is actually the so-called oral law. All right, this so-called oral law. But in the Bible, Jesus condemned this oral law. This Mishnah is known as the traditions of the elders, the oral law, which later rewritten as the Talmud. Okay, this is by the chief Rabbi Dr. J. Hertz. The Talmud is the product of Palestine, the land of the Bible and of Mesopotamia, and the cradle of civilization. The beginnings of Talmudic literature date back to the time of Babylonian exile in the 6th pre-Christian century, before the Roman Republic, and had yet come into existence. When, 1,000 years later, the Babylonian Talmud assumed final codified form in the year 500 after the Christian era, the Western Roman Empire had ceased to be. That millennium opens with the downfall of Babylon as a world power. It covers the rise, decline, and fall of Persia, Greece, and Rome, and it witnesses the spread of Christianity and the disappearance of paganism in Western and Near Eastern lands. Right. Actually, the Talmud is the codified version of Mishnah. Basically, that's what the Talmud is. It's a codified version of the Mishnah, right? But also not just Mishnah, but also the commentaries of the different Pharisees or different rabbis with regards to the interpretation of the Talmudic passage they produce. So that's Talmud, okay? But let me warn you, my brothers and sisters in Christ, and to all Christians who are listening here today, that the Talmud also contains blasphemies against our Lord Jesus Christ and especially His Blessed Mother. All right. So if you like to read about this Talmud, I'll be I would gladly help you out, guys. All right. Next, the Legends of the Jews. Now, Legends of the Jews, again, Legends of the Jews is actually the compilations of fairy tales, fables of the Jews. And according to Louis Ginsburg, who actually compiled and translated Legends of the Jews, he says here, folklore, fairy tales, legends, and all forms of storytelling akin to these are comprehended in the terminology of the post-biblical literature of the Jews, under the inclusive description, Agada, a name that can be explained by a circumlocution but cannot be translated. Whatever it is applied to is thereby characterized first as being derived from the Holy Scriptures and then as being of the nature of the story. And, in point of fact, this dualism sums up the distinguishing features of Jewish legend. So this is what the Legends of the Jews is all about. It's a compilation of all folklore, fairy tales, legends of the Jews. And usually the Legends of the Jews was the characters used here are from the Bible. Yet they made a little twist, and somehow they make it look like a children's story of a fairy tale, a folklore, as opposed to the Bible. All right. Any other questions, brother, before we continue?
Not really. I'm listening. Actually, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing.
All right. Brother, I'll be right back. Okay, I'll be right back in 1 minute. Okay.
That's fine. That's good. Sorry. Man, I wish you have we call it a shorter name, Tujo. Where in the Bible did Jesus say, I am God? Are you asking literal? I mean, For a Muslim, that would not be a good evidence to show them anything. Because when a Muslim asks you that, where did Jesus say, I am God? They have to give you a source that they will accept, recognize, and believe in. So when you ask a Muslim, okay, where do you want me to prove Jesus is God from? And he says the Bible. Okay, do you accept the Bible to be the word of God? If he says no, then my source would not be a good evidence to prove to him nothing. The only source I can give him from where they actually accept and they should believe in is their own Quran. But the question is, do Muslims respect and honor the word of God? If they tell you yes, then why do they respect Muhammad more than they respect Isa? Because Isa is the word of God. What is Muhammad?
And also the okay, I'm back. Okay, so let me. And also allow me to answer also why the WAINM2 the J. I'm going to give you an answer. Jesus did say, "I am God," but not in a literal way of saying directly like "I am God." No, if you're looking for that literal sense, in that literal sense, like "I am God," right? Of course of course Jesus wouldn't do that. And remember, Jesus humbled himself in a form of as a human. He humbled himself. But yes, Jesus did claim he is God by calling himself as the first and the last. Jesus called himself the first and the last. If you recall, the prophet Isaiah, right? Isaiah, where God speaks to Isaiah, I am the first and the last. There is no God but me. And Jesus spoke the same way as God claimed himself in the Old Testament as the first and the last. Jesus said, even in the book of Revelation, I am the first and the last, the one who died and rose again from the dead. So so is there is there a human who died and rose again from the dead? No. So in order for that person to die as a human and rose again from the dead, he must be something else. He must be something else. So therefore God has the power to God has the power to resurrect the dead. And Jesus claimed that Jesus claimed that he is the first and the last. Okay, the Sanhedrin wanted to stone him for what? For the reason you make yourself equal to God. Well, yes. Remember John chapter 10 verse 30, the 30, where Jesus says, "I and the Father are one." Yes, it's very true. Well, actually, not just Sanhedrin, but the Jews tried to stone him. And remember what Jesus told them. Of all the good things I showed you from the Father, why are you stoning me? Why are you guys trying to stone me? That's another way of Jesus saying that. And the Jews responded, "Oh, we're not stoning you for your good works, but for blasphemy, because because you claim to be equal with God, but while you're just a human being." That's how the Jews accuse Jesus. All right, that's how they accuse Jesus. And also, put yourself in the mindset of the Jews. Okay, put yourself in the mindset. Let's put ourselves in the mindset of the Jews for 1 second. All right, all right. Now, of course, if you know Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4, that says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is your God, and the Lord is one. Okay, the Lord is one. Now I don't know the. Now I don't know. Now I don't know if the Jews were the Israelites or the Jews were taking too literally one as being God, that God is really one, meaning only one person. Yet Jesus says, I and the Father are one," meaning to say they're united together as God, because the Father was also working with Jesus as well. Remember, Jesus also said in John chapter 5. I forgot what verse is that. Remember, he said this in John chapter 5. He said, "My Father is at work, and I am at work, as well." And how did the Jews react? They all tried to kill him for what? By making himself equal to God and calling his Father God, right? Because according to their mindset, one means only one God. Yet how come this guy claim himself to be God? Is he also God too? Right? Try to put yourself in the mentality of the Jews. All right. So that's what I'm going to tell you. All right, exactly, based on scripture. And here's another reason why the majority of the Jews still reject Jesus. All right. So we need to keep on praying for the Jews, right? Unfortunately, for me, in my honest opinion, the Talmud keeps the Jews from accepting Jesus Christ. All right. That's my answer for you. WAINM to J. Okay. All
Well,
right. So
actually, sorry to cut you off, but last week when we had the issue about Christian Zionism and Christianity and Judaism or Zionism, and we mentioned the Talmud and how the Talmud, I mean, where it concerns me, I'm now the Talmud talks about many things, but where it concerns me as a Christian, the Talmud is anti-Christ, anti-Mary. And when we talked about it, somebody apparently either was in the room listening or he listened to the broadcast later and came on Pal Talk asking me for evidence where is Jesus mentioned in the Talmud. So my question to him was, well, you as a Jew, how did you learn about Jesus? Your books do not mention Jesus. Where did you learn about him? You can't tell me about from the New Testament because you reject the New Testament. You don't consider the New Testament to be a book of God. Okay. So when you come and tell me Jesus was this and Jesus were that, where is that coming from? And he refused to answer. He avoided the whole discussion and insisted that the Talmud does not talk about Jesus. But yet all their behavior, all their attacks, okay, comes from the Talmud's teaching. So yes, the Talmud
okay,
has
let me add to that.
Go ahead.
Let me add to that. Okay, so now you mentioned that this Jew says nowhere in the Talmud that speaks about Jesus. Oh, my response is, oh really? Oh really? How about calling Jesus in the Talmud as Balaam? Balaam. Balaam is used as a coded slang name for Jesus, and it says Jesus was sentenced in hell, in a form of boiling hot excrement. Okay. How about in the Talmud? Um, the How about in the Talmud that mentions the name Yeshua? Yeshua was hanged. Yeshua was hanged. He was beaten. Wow, I can't believe it that this Jew would say that. I would love we would like to have a discussion with him someday. And I would love to use his Jewish sources against him, especially the Talmud.
Well, brother,
he make That makes me
brother
laugh.
Butros, actually, brother Butros on Pal Talk, he confronted him with it, and he still kept dancing and not answering questions. So
Yeah.
they deny it. I mean, they cursed Christ, they cursed Mary, they cursed everything that to do with them. And when you ask them, well, how do you know who is this person? How did you relate to him being this and that? They don't have no answer. So
Well, the way I see that, brother, they're trying to avoid they're trying their best to defend their Talmudic sources. But if we're going to read the Jesus from the Talmud by Dr. Peter Schaefer, Dr. Peter Schaefer admits everything. Admits everything. Even the Talmud calls Jesus Balaam. Balaam who seduced Israel into idolatry, who practiced sorcery, and also he was sentenced in hell in a boiling hot excrement. Right. So Dr. Peter Schaefer admitted that. Anyway, so let's have a discussion with him someday. So give me a call to that, brother. What do Muslims know?
well, I would love to bring him on here, but I doubt if he will ever come on the program.
Well,
Man,
someday.
they usually don't come on Saturday, especially today. They don't come in. Maybe later tonight he will come on Pal Talk.
Okay,
So
no problem.
hopefully, if we can do it some other time, like on Sunday, he might be able to come.
Yes. Okay. Sure. Sure. Just let me know, brother. Just let me know. And we'll have a talk with him. Okay. So let's continue, brother.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So now here is the very interesting part. All right. So what are the examples of passages which Muhammad actually copied and stole from the Jewish fables or legends? Okay, here it is, Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 51. It says here that Allah sent a crow who scratched the ground to show him to hide the dead body of his brother. He, the murderer, said, "Woe to me! I'm not even able to see that. I'm not even able to be at this crow and to hide the dead body of my brother." Then he became one of those who regretted. Okay, take note. Take note. It says here, Allah set a crow who scratched the ground to show him to hide the dead body, or to bury a dead body. Now, suspiciously, Muhammad actually copies it from the Jewish fable from Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer. It says here, and the Lord appointed a sign for Cain. The dog which was guarding Abel's flock also guarded his corpse from all the beasts of the field and all the fowl of the heavens. Adam and his helpmate were sitting and weeping and mourning for him, and they did not know what to do with Abel, for they were unaccustomed to burial. A raven came; one of his fellow birds was dead at its side. The raven said, "I will teach this man what to do." It took its fellow and dug in the earth, hid it, and buried it before them. Adam said, "Like this raven will I act." He took the corpse of Abel and dug in the earth and buried it. Now, now many Muslims will say, the Rabbi Eliezer says it says it was Adam. Adam was taught by the raven to hide the dead body or to bury the dead body. Whereas in Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5 verse 31, Allah sent a crow to show him to hide the dead body. Well, my answer for that is these two are very, very similar. Well, probably Muhammad may have misheard some of the Jews when it comes to this fable or legend. But the point is that Muhammad literally copied from the literally copied and stole from the Jewish legend. Even in here in Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer, it says that God sent a raven to Adam. Well, this is also the same pattern. Allah also sent a crow. Well, probably Muhammad probably misheard about the term raven as a crow. Right? We never know exactly what happened there, but we do know one thing. Okay, but we do know one thing. Muhammad copied and stole it from a Jewish fable. This is from Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, and it sounds exactly similar to Surah chapter 5 verse 31. And remember, earlier we mentioned that Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer was written somewhere from 620 CE, but it was completed in 833 CE. So meaning to say, this was a bit earlier than the Quran, and the Quran was compiled later, after years after Muhammad died. So now we show some proof here that timeline absolutely destroys the Quran. The timeline absolutely destroys Islam. Next, the seven heavens theology of Islam. Okay, let's have this hadith, for example. Abu Huraira reported that Fatima, the daughter of the Holy Prophet, came to Allah's apostle and asked for a servant. He said to her, "Say, O Allah, the Lord of the seven heavens." The rest of the hadith is the same. Another hadith, this is from Sunan Ibn Majah, hadith number 3883. It was narrated from Ibn Abbas that the Prophet used to say at times of distress. Okay, first of all, if I mispronounce it, forgive me. All right, here we go. La ilaha illallahul the Halimul Karim, subhanallahi the Rabil Arshil Azim, subhanallahi the Rabil Samawati Sabi wa Rabil Arshil Azim. Meaning, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, the forbearing, the most generous. Glory is to Allah, the Lord of the mighty throne. Glory is to Allah, the Lord of the seven heavens, and the Lord of the magnificent throne. Waqi said with each wording, La ilaha illallahu, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah is to be included. And the grade is Sahih. All right. Now, Muhammad doesn't just come up with the doctrine of the seven heavens. Again, this is basically copied. Okay? This is basically copied from where? From another Jewish legend. Now, this is from the Legends of the Jews, volume number 1. Okay, I cut out some excerpts here. It says, several heavens were created. 7, in fact, each to serve a purpose of its own. The first, the one visible to man, has no function except that of covering up the light during the nighttime. Therefore, it disappears every morning. The planets are fastened to the second of the heavens. In the third, the manna is made for the pious in the hereafter. The fourth contains the celestial Jerusalem together with the temple, in which Michael ministers as high priest and offers the souls of the pious as sacrifices. Okay, I don't want to continue this further because it's long. But there you have it. Muhammad actually copied it again from a Jewish legend, the Legends of the Jews, a compilation. It's very, very clear. It was translated. Several heavens were created. 7, in fact. Okay, so that's where Muhammad copied the seven heavens doctrine. Now, I'm not very, very sure if the seven heavens doctrine came from Zoroastrianism, but later on I will make a confirmation for that. But for now, we can clearly see here that Muhammad actually copied from the Legends of the Jews. Okay. Do you have any questions, brother? Brother, what do Muslims know?
Sir, you're doing good, man. If I have something, I'll add up, but you're doing good.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, next is Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 32. Allah says here, supposedly, because of that we ordained for the children of Israel that if anyone killed a person not in retaliation of murder or to spread mischief in the land, it would be as if he killed all mankind. And if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of all mankind. And indeed, there came to them our messengers with clear proofs, evidences, and signs. Even then, after that, many of them continued to exceed the limits. Example, by doing oppression unjustly and exceeding beyond the limits set by Allah by committing the major sins in the land. Okay. Many Muslims love to claim that, oh, this is the most peaceful verse in the Quran. This is the most beautiful verse of the Quran. Many Muslims love to claim that. But the truth is that's not it. Just because it sounds good, it doesn't mean it's beautiful right away. The truth is there's nothing beautiful about this verse. Why? Because this verse again is a copy from Mishnah Sanhedrin. This is from Mishnah Sanhedrin, chapter 4, verse 5, under the category of Sanhedrin. It says here, For so have we found it with Cain that slew his brother. For it is written, The bloods of thy brother cry. It says not the blood of thy brother, but the bloods of thy brother, his blood and the blood of his posterity. Another saying is bloods of thy brother, because his blood was cast over the trees and stones. Therefore, but a single man was created in the world to teach that if any man has caused a single soul to perish from Israel, Scripture imputes it to him as though he had caused a whole world to perish. And if any man saves alive a single soul from Israel, Scripture imputes it to him as though he had saved alive a whole world. And as mentioned earlier, the Mishnah was an oral law. Remember, the Jews have repeaters or reciters. They keep meaning they also repeat the Mishnah verse from Sanhedrin, chapter 4, verse 5. They keep on repeating this. And remember, the oral law was supposedly from the time of Babylonian exile to the New Testament, to the time of Christ. So this was the oral law. Yes, go ahead, brother. What do Muslims know?
Yeah, well, our brother here tapped Dancing Muslims, asking what year was that written.
Well, according to the Mishnah, according to the sources, I hope they have an open mind. All right. Again, it says here, the Mishnah may be defined as a deposit of 4 centuries of Jewish religious and cultural activity in Palestine, beginning at some uncertain date, possibly during the earlier half of the 2nd century BC and ending with the close of the 2nd century AD. This, even though the rabbis did not fully confirm when was the Mishnah, but for sure, the Mishnah was taught after the Babylonian exile, before the time of Christ. So that means this is very clear. Muhammad literally copied this from the Mishnah, and this is also repeated in the Talmud, Tractate Sanhedrin 37a. For thus we find in the case of Cain, who killed his brother, that it is written, The bloods of thy brother cry unto me, not the blood of thy brother, but the bloods of thy brother, is said. his blood and the blood of his potential descendants, alternatively, the bloods of thy brother, teaches that his blood was splashed over trees and stones. For this reason was man created alone to teach thee that whosoever destroys a single soul of Israel, Scripture imputes guilt to him as though he had destroyed a complete world. And whosoever preserves a single soul of Israel, Scripture ascribes merit to him as though he had preserved a complete world. Again, this was copied again from the Talmud, Tractate Sanhedrin 37a. And remember, the Talmud was compiled according to the rabbis. It says here, the Babylonian Talmud assumed final codified form in the year 500 after the Christian era, so somewhere around 500 AD. So this was first written before the Quran. Again, timeline destroys Islam. Timeline also destroys the Quran. It's very, very clear. Again, Muhammad copied it from the Jews. Okay, are we good, brother?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm just have my mic mute, so if there's background noise, doesn't affect what you're saying.
Okay, thank you very, very much.
You're good.
Okay, next. Okay, next is Surah At-Talaq, chapter 65, verse number 4. This is also the verse of marrying prepubescent girls in Islam. Okay, and also this is also the verse where Muhammad married Aisha at the age of 6. Here we go. And those of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, for them the Ida, prescribed period, if you have doubt about their periods, is 3 months. And for those who have no courses, i.e. they are still immature, their Ida prescribed period is 3 months likewise, except in case of death. And for those who are pregnant, whether they are divorced or their husbands are dead, their Ida prescribed period is until they lay down their burden. And whosoever fears Allah and keeps his duty to him, he will make this matter easy for him. Okay. Especially especially girls who are immature, okay, or still very young. Actually, in this Talmudic verse, I suspect here that Muhammad was absolutely influenced by the Jewish Talmud about marrying Aisha. This is from Tractate Sanhedrin 76a. Now, how do Abaye and Rabbi utilize the verse? Do not profane thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. Excuse about the language, but it is what it is exactly in front of you, brother. Do not profane thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. Rabbi Mani said, according to them, this refers to one who marries his young daughter to an old man. Take note. This verse refers to the one marrying his young daughter to an old man. Now that sounds suspiciously like Muhammad and Aisha, according to the Hadith. As it has been taught, do not profane thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. Rabbi Eliezer said, this refers to marrying one's young daughter to an old man. Rabbi Akiba said, this refers to the delay in marrying of a daughter who is already a bogeret. Okay, now, bogeret, according to this tractate, means a girl from the age of 12 and a half years plus 1 day onwards. And according to the footnote of this Sanhedrin 76a, number 32, which says, this refers to one who marries his young daughter to an old man. Since she cannot willingly accept him, she may be led to adultery. So unfortunately for Muslims out there, if you're listening right now, according to the Jewish Talmud standard, if Aisha cannot willingly accept Muhammad, meaning Aisha may lead to adultery. Sorry to say this, but this is a very suspicious. This is a very suspicious Talmudic verse, and this Talmud actually influenced Muhammad to marry Aisha. And number 33, the footnote, it says, Rabbi Akiva said, this refers to the delay in marrying of a daughter who is already a Bogaret, meaning having attained puberty. She may become unchaste if not married. Marriage, of course, was then at a far earlier age than now. So, okay, meaning having attained puberty, she may become unchaste if not married. All right. Again, I'm very very sorry to say this for Muslims out there, but it but according again but according to the Jewish standard about Aisha, if she did not marry Muhammad, she's still considered unchaste. All right, it's the opposite, and it seems to me this is absolutely opposite. Probably in order for Aisha to become chaste, she must marry Muhammad. In oppose of a woman should be very chaste, meaning she's totally innocent, and she's totally innocent. All right. But the Talmudic passage is the absolute opposite. If a girl of a very young age, she's considered to be unchaste if not married to an old man, according to Jewish standards. So, in other words, if Aisha didn't marry Muhammad, then she's still considered to be unchaste. All right, I know this will hurt your feelings, but it is what it is. Next, Surah Al-An'am, chapter 6, verse 145. Okay, this is what Muslims love to preach all the time. It's all about forbidding the eating of swine. Say, O Muhammad, I find not in that which has been revealed to me anything forbidden to be eaten by one who wishes to eat it, unless it be maita, a dead animal, or blood poured forth by slaughtering, or the like, or the flesh of swine or pork. For that surely is impure or impious, unlawful meat of an animal which is slaughtered as a sacrifice for others other than Allah, or has been slaughtered for idols, or on which Allah's name has not been mentioned while slaughtering. But whosoever is forced by necessity without willful disobedience, nor the transgressing due limits, for him certainly your Lord is of forgiving, most merciful. Now notice, why did I highlight the last sentences of this Surah chapter 6 verse 145? Even though the verse says here is that it is forbidden for Muslims to eat pork. The reason why I highlighted here is because this is an exception to the rule of forbidding of eating pork or swine. That is if one is forced out of necessity. Like, for example, if there is a famine in the land, meaning to say pork is not absolutely forbidden. All right. Many Muslims until this day still say, "Oh, no, you're reading it incorrectly. You don't understand. You don't understand that verse clearly says about forbidding to eat pork." No, there is an exception to the rule made by Allah. But whosoever is forced by necessity without willful disobedience nor transgressing due limits, meaning to say you can actually eat pork. You can actually eat the meat of the swine, right? When you are forced by necessity, one good example of a necessity is all about famine, right? Now, this was taken from Leviticus 11. Again, Muhammad copied it from the Torah. Let's start with verse number 1. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying to them, "Speak to the Israelite people thus: These are the creatures that you may eat from among all the land animals. Any animal that has true hoofs, with clefts through the hoofs, and that chews the cud, such you may eat. The following, however, of those that either chew the cud or have true hoofs, you shall not eat: the camel, although it chews the cud, it has no true hoofs. It is unclean for you. The diamond, although it chews the cud, it has no true hoofs. It is unclean for you. Haman, also known as the rock badger. The hare or the rabbit, although it chews the cud, it has no true hoofs. It is unclean for you. And the swine, although it has true hoofs, with the hoofs cleft through, it does not chew the cud, it is unclean for you. Okay? Again, Muhammad copies this from the Torah. Okay? However, in the hadiths, Muhammad ate the rabbit and camel meat, which Muhammad allegedly supposed that he believed in the Torah. Yet he ate camel meat and rabbit meat. These are forbidden for the Jews in the Torah. Yet Muhammad ate those kinds of meat. And then you Muslims say, "Oh, the Torah has been corrupted." Isn't this funny and ironic that Muhammad actually affirms the Torah, that the Torah and the Gospel? Muhammad actually affirms the Bible. Yet when hypocrisy is exposed, you tend to say, "Oh, the Torah is corrupted, the Gospel is corrupted," making the same excuse over again.
Well, JC, again, Tab Dancing Muslim is asking, which translation are you using?
I am actually using here the Tanakh version of the Jews.
So
I'm using the Tanakh version of the Jews. Yes, the Old Testament of the Jews.
Okay, that's if you have links or whatever you can post, will be great.
Yeah, sure. I can post I can post the book material here. I can also I can also post a link here to download the book. Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
Not that I see.
Okay. While waiting for it, I'm going to provide the link here. Hold on for a second. You can read side by side the translation, the Hebrew and English translation. I provided here. Okay, here it is. Okay, there we go. So if you like to download this Old Testament, the Tanakh from the Jews, feel free. Okay, so that you will know exactly their translations. All right, so let's continue. Okay, next is Surah Al-Ankabut, or the chapter 29, verses 41 to 43. This is all. There is a specific reason why this chapter is also known as the chapter of the spider. Okay, let's read the verses 41 to 43. The likeness of those who take false deities as awliya, protectors or helpers, other than Allah, is the likeness of a spider who builds for itself a house. But verily, the frailest or weakest of houses is the spider's house, if they but knew. Verily, Allah knows what things may invoke instead of Him. He is the Almighty and the All-Wise. And these similitudes we put forward for mankind, but none will understand them except those who have knowledge of Allah and His signs. Now, Many of you were wondering, why is this chapter called the chapter of the spider? Okay, again, the answer is actually Muhammad copied again from the legends of the Jews, and there was also a supposed story of Muhammad and Abu Bakr. They were persecuted, and they hide in the cave, and supposedly Allah sent a spider to protect them. Well, the truth is Muhammad actually copied it from the Legends of the Jews. This is taken from the Legends of the Jews, volume number 4. On another occasion, David expressed his doubt of God's wisdom in having formed such apparently useless creatures as spiders are. They do nothing but spin a web that has no value. He was to have striking proof that even a spider's web may serve an important purpose. On one occasion, he had taken refuge in a cave, and Saul and his attendants, in pursuit of him, were about to enter and seek him there. But God sent a spider to weave its web across the opening, and Saul told his men to desist from fruitless search in the cave, for the spider's web was undeniable proof that no one had passed through its entrance. Well, if you look at this, if you look at this legend, this portion of the legends of the Jews, it appears that Saul, the King Saul, the first, the first king of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, it appears that Saul has arachnophobia, meaning fear of spiders. I know this may sound funny, but again, it is what it is. And yet again, Muhammad used this legend from the Jews about himself and Abu Bakr persecuted, and then the spider was sent by Allah to protect them from the persecutors, the brothers and sisters. And this is why it's this surah, the chapter number 29, was named the chapter of the spider because of the legends of the Jews. And remember, Muslims regarded David as the prophet, all right, because Allah sent down the Zabur or the Psalms to David. But in this legend, which supposedly all about the persecution of David by King Saul, right? So David hid in a cave, and then the spider protected David from the King Saul and his men. Like I said, in this legend of the Jews about the spider protecting David, it appears like the King Saul has an arachnophobia. All right, brother and sister. Now this absolutely explains the legend of the Jews. Why Surah chapter 29 talks about the chapter of the spider? It's because of this legend of the Jews from volume number 4. That the prophet David, peace be upon him, was protected by the spider. All right. Again, Muslims, if you're listening out there, okay. Again, it is very clear. Muhammad copied this from the legends of the Jews. All right. Truth hurts, but it is what it is. Okay. Now here's another one I saved the best for last. Okay, the Hadith. It's all about Adam, who's supposedly 60 cubits tall. Right. Abu Huraira reported Allah's messenger as saying, Allah, the exalted and glorious, created Adam in his image with his length of 60 cubits. And as he created him, he told him to greet that group. And that was a party of angels sitting there, and listen to the response that they gave him, for it would form his greeting and that of his offspring. He then went away and said, Peace be upon you. They, the angels, said, May there be peace upon you and the mercy of Allah. And they made an addition of mercy of Allah. So he who would get into paradise would get in the form of Adam, his length being 60 cubits. Then the people who followed him continued to diminish in size up to this day. Wow, sounds convincing. That sounds convincing, isn't it? But the truth is, no, it doesn't sound convincing at all. Why? Again, Muhammad copied it from the Jewish Talmud. This is where he copied from Tractate Baba Batra 75a. An objection was raised, and I will lead you Kumamiyut. Rabbi Mar says it means 200 cubits, twice the height of Adam. Rabbi Judah says 100 cubits, corresponding to the height of the temple and its walls. For it is said, we whose sons are as plants grown up in their youth, whose daughters are as corner pillars carved after the fashion of the temple. Rabbi Yohanan speaks only of the ventilation windows. This was repeated again in Tractate Sanhedrin 108. An objection was raised, and I will make you go komamiyut, or upright. Rabbi Meir said, it means with a height of 200 cubits, twice the height of Adam. Rabbi Judah said, 100 cubits corresponding to the length of the temple and its walls, as it is written, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones fashioned after the similitude of the temple. Rabbi Yohanan referred only to the ventilation windows. Now, many of you were wondering, what are the Jews talking about this komamiyut term? What is the interpretation of komamiyut according to the Jews? According to the footnote number 35, Adam the first, that is, the people will gain in stature to twice the height of Adam. Okay? His height originally from earth to heaven, or from one end of the earth to the other, was, after his sin, reduced to 100 cubits. Again, the tractate uses the Hebrew word komamiyut, emphasizing Adam's height was originally 200 cubits, or to be exact, 300 feet. But according to the rabbis, since Adam sinned, his height was reduced to 100 cubits, 100 feet to be exact. Okay, so right here, Muhammad says, Adam is 60 cubits tall. Wow, 60 cubits is equivalent to 90 feet tall. However, in the Talmudic interpretation of the rabbis, Adam's height is actually 100 cubits. So meaning to say, Muhammad's version of Adam lacked the 40 cubits more. I don't know how Muhammad actually reduced the height of Adam, making it 60 cubits. But according to the Talmudic rabbis, Adam's height is 100 cubits because he sinned. So if Adam did not sin, so probably Adam would have been 200 cubits, meaning he's way up higher than Muhammad's version of Adam. Oh, that's very, very high, and that's almost equivalent to the height of Godzilla. Oh boy, I had a great time here. Okay, brother, what do Muslims know? So let's wrap up with this conclusion. I hope you don't mind. Okay, so conclusion, what can we draw here? Based from the Jewish sources and texts, Muhammad did copy and steal legends and fables from the Jews. We now understand why the Jews scorned Muhammad for being a pretentious prophet by stealing Jewish fables and legends and turning them into Allah's words. Since Muhammad copied fables and legends, Islam is also based on the copied and stolen stories of fables and legends of the Jews. And last but not the least, which I personally made this conclusion, Rabbinic Judaism actually influenced Islam. Okay. All right, brother. Do you have any more questions?
And keep going, keep going. You're doing good.
Okay. That's all the presentation we have. We have reached our conclusion. That's our conclusion, brother.
Okay, so is there anybody who has anything to add? Anything wants to jump on board and have discussion? Or I was trying to bring a Muslim from Paltalk, but I guess he did not know what the link I sent him for. He refused to come on. So in general, in let's say 10 minutes, can you tie this whole thing up within 10 minutes? Recap
Yes.
on everything?
Yes. So to recap everything under 10 minutes or less, actually. So based on the historical references we had, the historical references we had, and also the Jewish sources we had, we therefore come to the conclusion of why the Jews of the Medina rejected Muhammad, rejected Muhammad that time. Well, majority of them. Why? It's because Muhammad they kept on stealing Jewish legends or fables, and he made them into Allah's words. So there, so to make it very short, Muhammad really had no originality. He had, I would say, less creativity. He had very less creativity in making his own religion called Islam. And also, very sorry to say this, Islam is based on what Muhammad heard, what Muhammad heard from the Jews and Christians, and also fables from Jewish legends and the Talmud. Again, nothing can be more clear than that. Based on the presentations we have earlier. Okay, based on the presentations we had earlier, not only Muhammad copied this from the Torah, but he also copied other verses from the Talmud, such as the basis of child marriage in Islam. Actually, the child marriage in Islam is basically a Talmudic origin. Like as mentioned, Muhammad was deeply influenced by the same rabbis who taught about child marriage. Especially, even if a child is a 12-year-old, even if a young girl is a 12-year-old, that's still a child. That's still a child. I was suspecting Muhammad was like, I think a child marriage it's a very good idea. But and also I like this little girl named Aisha. Isn't this very suspecting? Isn't this very suspecting? And again, let's go back here in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 32. This is very similar to the Mishnah. I used the translation by Herbert Danby's Mishnah, and also the Talmud, and I also used the translation of I also used the translation of the Noble Quran by Dr. Musin Khan, and the Talmud I used here is from the Sonsino edition of the Talmud. But seriously, Muslims. Isn't it obvious that Muhammad actually copied it from the Jews? You are believing in such fables like this. I would suggest to reevaluate your belief over again. Whether Muhammad was really a prophet from God, a prophet from Allah. If he is really a prophet from Allah, then his revelations would be unique. just like Isaiah and Jeremiah, Hosea, Ezekiel. Each of them has a very unique revelation. Each of them has a very unique prophecy, but not Muhammad. Muhammad may have shown a bit of creativity here, but honestly, he has no originality, as suspected here, especially about Adam, about his preaching about Adam being 60 cubits tall, but actually he copied it from the Jewish Talmud. In the Talmudic position of the Rabbi's version, Adam's height is 100 cubits or 150 feet. Now I don't really know exactly how did Muhammad came up with the height of Adam as 60 cubits, but 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 remember, Talmud was written around 500 AD, or let's just say it was written in 500 AD. Isn't it very obvious that Talmud was first written before the Quran, or even before Muhammad started preaching? Again, there's no Muhammad had no originality whatsoever. Everything Muhammad did was copying and copying from the Jewish Talmud, from Mishnah, from the legends of the Jews, and especially the fable Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer. Nothing can be more clear than these. Okay, like I said, the biggest conclusion I can ever come up with is that rabbinic Judaism actually influenced Islam. So 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 I would suggest Muslims to convert themselves to Judaism. Why? Because they also believe in Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 31, like this one. Where did Muhammad get this? Okay. Where did Muhammad get this verse? The chapter 5, verse 31, from Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, which the rabbis actually admitted that it is from a fable. Okay. Do you have any other questions, brother?
Not really. Everything is clear, man. I agree. I agree. I mean, maybe next time we can have about the terrorist acts of Muslims in the Quran, and how it was related or copied from the Old Testament. Because we know one thing, that the Muslims have a habit of copying and pasting without understanding the reasons behind what they do. For example, the
Mhm.
sacrifice. You're familiar with the Muslim holiday called Eid al-Adha?
Yes, I'm familiar with that, brother.
Okay, when you ask a Muslim where did that come from, their answer is because Abraham was told to do it. So, but what is the reason behind it? They have no clue.
And remember Muhammad broke the Mosaic law. According to one hadith, the Muhammad said that, I believe it. I believe in the Torah. I believe in the one who sent you this Torah. Yet honestly, Muhammad know nothing about the Torah. He just copied the forbidding of eating of swine from the Jews, like I mentioned in the Torah. But when it comes to camel meat and rabbit meat, he ate those kinds of meat. So technically speaking, he broke the Mosaic law. And also some Arabs are still eating camel meat. And now they claim that and now the and now the and Surah chapter 6, verse 145, it affirms from the Torah that eating swine meat is prohibited. But but like I said, Allah has an exceptional rule when it comes to eating the meat of a swine, and that is out of necessity. So, like I said, out of necessity such as famine. So that's the exception of the rule of Allah. And yet, Muhammad ate camel meat and rabbit meat. Isn't it amazing? Yeah, isn't it amazing how Muhammad also broke the Mosaic law about the dietary laws of the Jews? Okay, brother, what do Muslims know? What is your conclusion as well? How about your conclusion, brother? What do Muslims know? Okay, from Trinity Matrix, he says here, Islam is a concoction of lots of different copied sources and texts from all kinds of religions, paganism, um, existing at the time of Muhammad, including moon god represents. Well, actually, Trinity Matrix, I agree with you. Islam is a concoction of different copied sources and texts from all kinds of religions. Actually, that also includes Zoroastrianism. That includes Zoroastrianism. Okay, Aladdin. I suggest stop reading and use your coconut head. Well, it's you who needs to use your coconut head, Aladdin. Okay, because clearly Muhammad copied everything from the Jewish sources. And it seems to me you're the one who is falling into the copied to the copied stories and fables of Muhammad from the Jews. Okay. Okay, brother, what do Muslims know? What is your drawn conclusion here? Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? Okay. Okay, I'll let what do Muslims know deal with you, Aladdin. Okay. So all you need to do all you need to do is debate with him, and you copied the complete Jewish Tanakh corrupted and changed it to Old Testament. What a lousy excuse. What a lousy excuse, Aladdin. Nice try. Nice try, Aladdin. Nice try. Nice try. But still,
Oh, we
it's a
have the
failure.
Filipino dancer. We have the Filipino dancer in the house. Do you want to have some fun with
Aladdin.
him? Should we bring him aboard?
Well, if you want to, but this Aladdin, I don't think Aladdin will deal with us, and he's making funny excuses. Nice try, Aladdin, but seriously, seriously, you go turning it into Old Testament as a corruption. Wow, what a lame excuse. That's exactly a lame excuse.
But you know what's the funny part about this? The funny
Yes.
part about this is this. He's telling you that the Tanakh is corrupted. The Old Testament is corrupted. The Bible is corrupted. The New Testament is corrupted. Everything is corrupted. Okay, fine. For argument's sake, I'm gonna dance his song. Now, Alauddin, if you are a pimp, does that mean your wife is a prostitute? One more time, Alauddin, Filipino dancer. If you are a pimp, does that mean your wife is a prostitute?
Aladdin, to be honest with you, I am laughing at you now. Not because we can't answer you, but simply because you're making the lame excuses. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, Aladdin. It doesn't work. So I'm laughing at your excuses.
See, this is what Muslims don't understand. If they prove the Bible is corrupted, which for argument's sake, let's say it's corrupted. For argument's sake only, let's say it is corrupted. Does that prove that the Quran is correct? So do you understand now when
Brother,
I say Aladdin is a pimp, does that prove his wife is a prostitute? The other thing is
brother,
this.
seems you don't know. Oh, okay.
If the Bible is corrupted, why do they use the Bible to prove the Quran correct? Why would they tell you Muhammad is mentioned in the corrupted book? Which makes Muhammad what? If I'm going to tell you there is a jar full of poison, but there is a drop of honey in there, would you eat that honey? Or that honey would be poisoned as well? So if the Bible is book of poison, how would the honey be in the Muhammad would be in the book without being poisoned?
Now, are you laughing at Aladdin?
Dance. Guys, give Aladdin a chance to sing and dance, because that's what he does best: lie and dance. That's why he's called the Filipino dancer.
Woo! Yeah, Aladdin, the Filipino dancer. Woo! Wow, and also Tanakh called it Old Testament, meaning Tanakh called it Old Testament is already corruption. Wow. Ay. Brother, your last chance. You are laughing because you are shocked with what I said, and you can't refute. Why you copied the Jewish Tanakh, called it Old Testament? Oh, come on. You're making lousy excuses, Aladdin. I'll try harder next time.
Aladdin, your brother Kufar is here. Do you want to take a chance with him? Huh?
To tell you the truth, Aladdin, I'm not shocked at all. I'm not very shocked. I'm just laughing at you. Oh boy, brother, what do Muslims know? I'm not really shocked. I'm really laughing at him. Literally. He makes lousy excuses one after the other. And turning Jewish Tanakh into Old Testament is already corrupted. Wow. Amazing. So the corruption of the gospel by naming it as New Testament? Wow. Lame excuse, Aladdin. Lame excuse. Try harder. Okay, brother, what do Muslims know? Let's. Would you like to draw your conclusion before we end this video session?
Well, the conclusion is still to come as well. The bottom line, you stated everything perfect. I mean, another reason is that if you notice that Jews call the Muslims that they are cousins. Have you ever heard of that term?
Yes, I heard of that, and in fact, I heard that from one of the rabbis. Yes, go ahead. Hello, brother.
So why would they consider them their cousins if there is no relationship?
Exactly. Arabs have nothing to do with the Jews. They don't have anything to do with the Jews.
Well, they have plenty.
Yeah, indeed. And they claim that
with all due respect, bro, when you say Jews and Christians share the same Old Testament, the Old Testament doesn't have Gospels in it. The Gospels are only in the New Testament. But you have to understand that the Old Testament to a Jew means completely different from how it means to us as Christians. The
Exactly.
understanding of the Old Testament for us as Christians comes with the birth of Christ. Without the birth of Christ, you would not understand the Old Testament and be a Christian. You would still be a Jew. So even though we share the same book, but we don't share the same teachings and we do not share the same understanding.
Exactly. The great point, brother. What do Muslims know? Thank you very, very much for your insights. All right. So now we have proven everything that Muhammad was indeed a pretentious, or should we say, a phony prophet indeed. Right. So to Muslims out there who have that open mind, think of this presentation we had again, and see if he's really worth a prophet for you, and for those Muslims who have an open mind, please do. Okay, have an open mind. Think over again. Okay, so and don't be afraid don't be afraid to be labeled as kafirs, because when you think according to Islam, when you think, you become a kafir. All right, so don't be afraid. All right, don't be afraid. Search for the truth. And once you get to know, and once you learn about the presentation we had about how Muhammad stole and copied the legends and fables of the Jews, it's all right here. And ask yourself: is Muhammad really a prophet? Why he doesn't have originality then? Ask yourselves. Be honest with yourselves. Is he really a prophet? All he does was copy and pasting Jewish legends into his Quran, and claiming other fables or legends as his own, like what we showed you guys earlier about David, about how David was protected by a spider.
Where did Aladdin go? The Filipino dancer, Mr. Filipino dancer or macho boy.
He got away. He stepped away.
Now, the sad part, he calls himself Daya. And you know what Daya is? Usually those people get paid to do what they do. On Paltalk, he gets dotted and bounced from his own Muslim rooms. So he's not just being ignored by Christians, but he's also ignored by his own Muslim brothers.
Wow. 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 Such a shame. That's such a shame. I feel very bad and sorry for him. Anyway, so let's not stress ourselves, brother. Okay, so thank you very much once again, brother What Do Muslims Know, for having me. And the truth is, I had so much fun discussing about how rabbinic Judaism influenced Islam, and also to the Jews out there. My message to the Jews out there, okay, to the Jewish people, we love you as Christians. Christ commanded us to love you, even though yes, at times that you have become the enemy of the gospel, but it doesn't mean that you lose hope. Okay, there is still hope. There is still time. There's still time. The Jewish people, okay, and please please try to open yourselves to the New Testament. Try to learn. Try to learn more about the life of Christ, the life of Jesus, Yeshua. All right. Study about his life, and you need to understand why he exposed the Pharisees as hypocrites, because they really are hypocrites. Okay, and also what was the real reason why your Talmud was written is because the Pharisees and the rabbis they keep on preventing you from the turning to Jesus by opening your faith to Jesus Christ. That's the reason why the Talmud was written for you. Okay, and remember, you admitted that this Talmud was an oral law, and it was written by the same Pharisees who persecuted Jesus. So please, for the Jewish people out there, please open your mind. If you like to have a discussion, I would love to have a discussion with you. But please, oh, if you have an open heart and mind, please do. All right. Please try to open yourselves to the New Testament, and you will discover that Jesus was indeed the Jewish Messiah you have been expecting, but not as a political Messiah, but a spiritual Messiah, as as God brings him to you. All right. So please, Jewish people, try to open yourselves to Christ. Okay.
JC, bro. I'm gonna try. We have this friend of ours. He's on Paltalk, and he's diplomatic with his way of talking. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try see if he's willing to come and see if we can do it next Sunday. Which it might be next Sunday to us. It might be Monday morning to you. Would you be able to do that?
Yes, sure. The next Sunday.
Next
I would
Sunday
love to.
at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love
it will
to.
be what, 9 o'clock in Monday morning?
It will be 7 o'clock here in the Philippines. Some 7 o'clock in the morning here in the Philippines.
Okay, so you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, it's not about specific topic, but we can make it an open discussion, not a debate or challenges, but just an open discussion. Your view and how it relates, and to his view and how he understands it.
Sure, I would be glad to. I always wanted to have a discussion with him.
So I see. I don't see him tonight because I think it's still Shabbat for them. But I'll see, if I see him, I will ask him and see if we can do it. Even if he has a topic to speak about, usually they like to talk about how do you prove Isaiah is about Jesus. That's mostly their favorite. And in all honesty, unless if you actually know Judaism itself and you know exactly what the book says, you cannot prove it by going to Christianity. And the reason behind that, I mean, like I said, unless if you know exactly what you're talking about from their book to prove it. Because if you come to me and say, well, I'm going to prove to you that the car can be driven with a key. And I tell you, sorry, you cannot use the key. So you can't use the key to prove to me the car. Now you have to prove the car can be driven without using the key. Do you understand?
Yes,
The Jews reject and refuse the birth of Christ, which is the key for Christianity, which is the key
exactly
to explaining the Old Testament. So by them refusing the birth of Christ or recognize him who he is, you can't bring anything from what he says to prove their book. So you have to use their own book with what it says to prove to them they are wrong.
Exactly. I noticed that too, brother. Thank you very, very much. And let's have that. Sure, I would love to be open. I would love to. I would love to have a discussion with the Jews. It's something that I always wanted to do for a long time. Thank you very much for inviting me.
I would love to see if it works. I'll be messaging you and letting you know what's going on.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that.
So I believe Alauddin is gone, huh? The Filipino dancer ran.
Oh boy. Okay, so let's not stress ourselves further.
No,
So
actually, it's a joke to us. I mean, to us, he's entertainer. He
yeah,
doesn't upset us because we already. I know the guy for almost 18 years.
Mhm.
He's not new
I
to
see.
me. Tap dancing Muslims, he knows him little bit, maybe 2 years, maybe a little bit over 2 years. But Mr. Alauddin is running and saying, well, he's been challenging him for 6 years. So how could he challenge a person that wasn't on Pal Talk for 6 years? I'm sure you know iPhone, if you're still here, Trinity Matrix. You guys know Jai. Okay. Jai
Yeah.
is only about maybe 26 years old. He
Mhm.
hasn't been on Pal Talk for about 15 years. Lucky if he's been on Pal Talk about maybe 10 years. 10, maybe 11. Okay. Alauddin been running around. Oh, I've been challenging Jai for 15 years. What, you were challenging Jai when he was 12 years old? The guy wasn't even on Pal Talk. And then he cries to us. With me, he doesn't talk to me at all. He ignores me in all the rooms because he knows he doesn't have no chance. But he tries with the tap dancing, and he tells him, "Well, if you wanna take my challenge, you need to bring me 2, 3 pastors with you." I mean, the guy is a clown. So I mean, we don't get upset over him, or we don't stress out, or we just laugh at him.
Yes, exactly. All right. All right. So the time now is already 8:14 here in the Philippines, and I assume that it's already 7:14 there in United States.
Actually, it's 8:15. 8:15, yeah, because we had the clock change. We have the clock 1 hour ahead. So
Ah,
we
okay.
had 6 hours difference. Now we have 7 hours difference.
Thank you very much. All right, so let's have a discussion with the Jew. So to be scheduled next Sunday. I'm good with that. I'm good with open discussion with the Jew. I would love to.
Okay,
Thank you
bro.
very much
You
for
guys,
inviting me.
you are a Christian Zionist, played dirty game, exposed. Oh, look at this. Alauddin, you are a Christian Zionist. Okay, Alauddin. Okay, little child. All right. Okay, brother JC, thank you so much, and hopefully we get to meet again
Thank you.
next week, guys. God bless you all.
Yes, thank you
Thank you
very very
all.
much. Also, thank you. Thank you very, very much for also having me here as well. I had a great time. I had a great session with you guys, especially brother what the Muslims know. So hope to see you again next Sunday for another the next Sunday here in Manila. Of course, there is already Saturday evening. Okay, so thank you very, very much again for having me, and enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You do the same, brother. Enjoy your week. Be safe, and God bless. All right, guys. God
God
bless you
bless you.
all. Thank you, and hope to see you some other day.